Go ahead and start talking now, CJ, because I want the camera to be on you when it opens.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's different.
Well,
blah, 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 blah. Welcome to West of Tulsa. Is me like that? I can.
see?
Oh,
It cut,
hey.
it cut
Look at that.
Maybe CJ could do the count in.
You guys just have to, do a countdown.
Yeah.
You should, though.
Yeah,
so
but
the
we should
camera
definitely
stays
not
on
But you
you.
guys can't see
No,
anything.
Right.
No.
You'll F it up.
Yep.
I'm not going to burp.
All right, today on West of Tulsa, what's your pet peeve? What really pisses you off when you're driving? What do they do? What really bothers you? We're going to talk about that today because I had an experience coming in here. All right, the other thing we're going to talk about, ripped from the headlines, the USS Yorktown. Have you guys heard this story?
No.
No? Oh, it's a good story. What did they find inside the Yorktown? This is from the Battle of Midway, World War II. What did they find in the belly of that aircraft carrier?
Venereal
about that.
disease.
Very possible. Boy, that sets the tone for the whole show, doesn't it, Dan? And then the third thing we're going to talk about is the real story of Ron Burgundy, only because these guys talked about it last week when I wasn't here. And I do have 40 years of TV experience, so I have heard the story over the years, so I'll throw out what I've heard. And
you know
that's
the
my
players.
story.
And
And
you
I
know
know
the
the players. I've actually met them, yeah. So
CJ's a celebrity.
Yeah.
all right. So, okay, let's start off with what pisses you off. So I'm driving.
You piss me off.
Man. Okay, let's change topic. No. So I'm driving in, right? I'm trying to go to the TV station. I'm late. And there's this one intersection, and this has gone on for years. When I pull up to it, it's big, wide intersection, all this space. And then you have to either turn right or left. And it's a busy street. It's Carrillo in downtown Santa Barbara. And always traffic, da-da-da-da-da. So I watch the person in front of me. They pull up, and they move up like they're going to turn right. And what do? Turn on their left turn blinker. So they're going to turn left, and they got all this space. They could be over far enough so I could get past them. So when there's no traffic going my direction, I can go, right? Nope. They pull up and they block me. Then they turn on their left turn blinker. So I have to sit there and wait till they go. And there's just something about that drives me nuts. Why not just get over far enough so you can go left when
How
you can
dare
go?
them.
And I can go. And
Did
I can
you
go.
honk?
No, I don't want to be a jerk about it.
So it didn't piss you off that much.
I mean, first of all, if I honk, what are they going to do? They can't go anywhere
Well,
anyway.
which car were you in?
Probably the minivan. I'm usually
So
in
it
the
has a
Honda
wimpy
minivan.
sounding horn anyway, right? It's like,
Yeah. I don't like honking the horn. I mean, like if I really get pissed off, I flip middle finger, and I usually that pisses people off. But
well, you guys have all traveled a bit, right? It's interesting how horns are used in different countries. Like in Asia, they're horn crazy, right? Not in Japan, but in like Singapore or Vietnam and stuff, it's just like, India.
Yeah.
And then here and in places in Europe, if you use your horn, people are going to shoot you in road rage. If
Yeah.
you just go, it's like.
Of
so-
course, Dan knows the difference in horn technology in different countries.
well, there is.
No, it's not horn technology. It's how people use the horn.
Yeah, exactly.
It's-
Application of horns in different countries. Dan,
And
Don't ever change, Dan.
No. When I was in Tunisia and Africa, I mean, it's like a drive, or in Casablanca when you drive through Casablanca and stuff, especially at night when it's crowded.
when you drive through Casablanca.
It's like people are using their horn like they're talking. They're like, yeah, it's weird. It's like totally
Well, a good
different
example.
than here.
I think a good example of that is somebody's sitting in front of you. The light turns green, and they got their head down like they're looking.
Yeah.
So what do you
On
do?
the phone.
Do you go, "Meh," or do you just go beep beep?
Yeah.
Like a little beep beep is a
I
cordial way.
I
of
would just
yeah,
beep,
just
beep.
a little beep.
I would
Have-
lay on it.
Have you guys ever heard the custom horns where you can like program them to say things?
Ooh,
Yeah.
that sounds like fun.
I
Oh.
was, where was I? I think I was in Texas or something, and somebody had one programmed, and maybe it wasn't the horn, maybe it was something else in their car, but it was parts of songs. Like this one was "Move, bitch, get out the way." Like I was rolling. I was like, I need that. That's
You
badass.
need that in your life, right?
I would love that in my car, but I would.
It's got to be loud too, right?
Yeah, it was loud. I think
So-
it was a truck. It was like a lifted, like a
Of
big
course,
lifted
of
truck.
course.
Yeah,
You're in
yeah,
Texas.
So everybody,
Yeah.
everybody within like a 20-foot radius,
Oh,
is looking around,
yeah.
going, they called me bitch.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's the thing too. It's like for something like that, like they don't care about anything. I mean, that would you guys ever have something like that in your
No, I
car
would
that
not,
would
no.
say something like
Can you
that?
imagine that coming out of a 911?
No.
Move over, bitch. No.
Yeah, I think he was young. I do remember him looking kind of young, and he obviously didn't care. But I thought it was funny as hell.
That is good. I like that.
So I didn't even know that was a thing. I got to look into it, actually.
Wow.
Horns.
I hadn't heard that one.
Horns. That's
Horns.
what we're talking about.
So who's next?
So
on
what's your-
pet
yeah, what's your
peeves?
pet
Is it
peeve?
Gabe? What's your pet driving peeve, Gabe?
You got to have one.
I don't have a ton as far as like other drivers. I mean, yes, people
What?
piss me off. No, I don't because I just don't care. But in my car, you put your feet on my dash, you're getting kicked the fuck out.
Now I want to know, did
Good to
your
remember
wife
that.
have to learn that the hard way?
No, she won't do it.
But she knew from early on, like when you guys were dating and stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
did she ever do it?
her and I see eye to eye on that. You know,
Okay,
if my kid, you know, she's innocent, doesn't know better. Oh man,
My girls did the same thing.
Yeah.
Didn't get to know better.
Putting the feet on the dash is one, and then putting your feet outside the damn window while you're
Yeah,
driving.
yeah.
I'm like, you deserve
Yeah.
to be in a car accident.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really my only. That's the one that just makes me go. Ugh. I mean, because people are gonna do stuff when they drive. They're gonna text. They're gonna do whatever. I can't control it. But what I can control, what happens is in my car, and that's the one pet peeve. I'm like, you.
So you're a control
Yeah.
freak in your car, is what you're
Just
saying.
that one thing. I mean, I don't like people eating in my car, but whatever. I get it. Some people got to eat. Whatever. I'm not gonna, But feet. Yeah, there's no reason for your feet to be on a dashboard ever.
Yeah.
Oh, I agree.
Never.
Agreed.
So, and it's not safe. Not that I care about safety as much, but still, I just
Yeah.
don't like it.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing that I could really say, like, not gonna fly with me.
That's
Yeah.
your pet peeve.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
All right,
Yeah.
Christina.
Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry, people that you do that, but
You got to have
It's
a good
funny. That reminds me, like one of my pet peeves about like in my car that's always driven me nuts throughout the upbringing of my children is that when the windows get foggy, they used to like to freaking draw pictures on my windows. And that would drive me nuts because I don't like to see that stuff like
when it dries.
when it dries. And I'm like, and me, I'm a lazy ass. So I'm like, I'm not going to go clean it right away. So it'll sit there for like a week, smiley face. Or like my son literally one time when he was like 17, I think he was 17, on the front window, he drew like a dick with balls on my window.
Oh.
And I didn't know. I grabbed food and came back in the car and it was there. And I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Like, seriously? So that is like a big pet peeve of mine. I don't.
I could
It
see
drives me
that
nuts.
one.
And I think they know now that it pisses me off, and it's always pissed me off. So now they still do it, and they'll do it to piss me off. But
they're never too old for an ass beating.
no, that's true. That's true. They're a lot bigger than me now.
There's that.
But so recently I went to Texas and I rented a vehicle, and it was myself, my roommate, and her son. And her son's like 6'3", 6'4". So he sits in the front, and she drove once, and I sat in the back seat, and it was killing me because she likes to gas it and then not gas and gas and not gas. And it was constant. The car was constantly like, I felt like I was going to throw up in the back seat. And so I literally was like, okay, I'm driving. I can't do this anymore.
Does she realize that she does that?
I don't know. I didn't really like fully talk to her about it. I was just kind of like, I'm driving. And that's it. She didn't drive for the rest of the trip. I drove the whole
So
trip.
if she watches
So-
this show, she's going to figure out
yeah,
what it was.
that's okay. I'll probably talk to her about it
Yeah.
tonight.
Because my grandmother did that, but she didn't know what she was doing. She
Well,
was
I don't
so-
think she realizes because I've driven with her in her car before too, and she does it when she's driving. So
Does she ever drive with you? And she goes, "You drive so smooth."
no, she hates my driving because she says I drive like a crazy lady. So
Do you?
I drive fast.
Okay,
That's
well.
the thing. So, but she knows I have full control. Like I may drive like a bitch, but I know what I'm doing. Like I can handle it, and especially if it's an automatic. It's like, come on. You know, I'm not having to shift. I'm not having to use the clutch. Like I got it.
So you're
It's all good.
sure she's not doing the passive aggressive incompetence because you know that move,
No.
right? You just
Yeah.
do something incompetently when you want someone else to do it for
I
you. It's
I
just
know.
like,
Well, and that's the thing. She
I
does
can't
not like
drive
driving.
right.
She hates driving.
well, there you
so
go.
Oh well, she shouldn't
usually-
drive then. So
So usually,
Okay.
like when we go on trips anywhere, Vegas, Texas, wherever we go, if I go with a bunch of girlfriends, I'm the one that drives because I can't stand the way people drive. It bugs me. I want to be in charge.
yeah.
I like to drive fast. I want to get there. When I get there, like that's just how I am. So, yeah,
I'm a better driver than passenger for sure.
yeah.
Yeah, how about you, CJ?
Depends on what day it is.
Okay.
I'm curious. Wait,
What
what does
about
that
on-
mean?
What about on Wednesdays?
Yeah, Thursdays are no. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think about it too much.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're
I
fine being a passenger. How
Yeah,
about you,
I
Dan?
don't mind being a passenger. But
Oh, I don't mind being a passenger. When we went up to Angeles Crest and I was Brenda was driving and
Yeah, but she drive all crazy.
the
Didn't she?
ladies were hauling ass.
Yeah. Brenda was trying
you
to
were
keep
hauling
up with
ass,
us.
and she was trying to keep up with you in her mechanic.
Oh, and I drove with Brenda. Brenda drove her car to the Gentle Barn for my birthday when we went and
You
cuddled
pet
with
cows? You
animals.
pet
Yeah.
cows? Yeah.
And she drove. And she drives. She is a driver because we took her car. It was, and she has the music loud. Like,
Yeah.
I loved it. It was great.
And I was fine because I think she's a decent driver.
Yeah,
so
she's a good driver.
I was okay. Now,
Yeah.
if someone doesn't know what the hell they're doing, then I get nervous.
See, I assume everybody doesn't know what they're doing unless you're Randy Popes or whatever. So when it comes to that kind of stuff, canyon driving, I've been in too many wrecks and too many crashes in the canyons with guys that I won't do that with other drivers.
Yeah. I get
Regular
that.
driving, I could probably handle it, but that.
Oh,
canyon,
we weren't
forget
even
that.
driving like the way I normally drive in the canyons. We weren't doing that because that was one of the first times I'd taken my 240 on the ACH. I had never taken it, so I was not driving as fast as I normally do. So, but the second time I went up with Melissa, I definitely drove a little bit faster. But I usually won't drive like that if I have people in my car.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't want anybody to feel uncomfortable. So
What's your pet peeve, Dan?
My pet peeve, once again, I'm gonna sound like a boomer here, but it's simply common courtesy. Like when I'm driving, I mean, I'm a decent driver. I know how to drive. I went to Skip Barber and I sold BMWs back. I'm not a great driver, but I'm a competent driver. And my pet peeve is when someone's trying to get in front of me. I drive in LA, a lot of LA traffic. It's like I just let them in. It's like, what do I care?
yeah.
I'll let 3 people in. What do I care? I'm usually, oh, it delays me 10 seconds, right?
Right.
But when I see other people just being totally,
assholes.
yeah, well, narcissistic. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
narcissism behind the wheel.
Okay, gotcha.
And my pet peeve is when you're going down a 1-lane road, it's not 2 lanes. When you're going down a 1-lane road on your side, of course, and someone is looking for an address on a 40-mile-an-hour street, 45-mile-an-hour street.
And they're creeping along.
And they're not creeping along. They're just doing it. They're kind of like your friend. They're like, speed up, slow. They're doing
Yeah.
it just enough where you go, I know this person's looking for something.
Yeah.
And they're being too much of an inconsiderate dick to pull over
Yeah.
and just look at their phone and, oh, you're almost there. You're almost in the driveway, And that drives me crazy. It's just like, don't be an asshole. It's that simple.
Your pet peeve is geoconditional
What do you mean?
because you live in Ventura County.
True.
It's not like LA County. I mean,
True.
Yeah.
It is a stark difference. Probably when you come down after the Conejo Grade, I would imagine, or the Calabasas Grade or whatever, because that doesn't happen here in Ventura nearly as much as it does in LA.
But I live in Camarillo. What's in Camarillo?
Nothing.
Leisure Village.
Leisure
Leisure
Village.
Village drivers. Holy crap.
I totally know
Okay,
what
but
you
they're
mean.
old people. You got to give them a pass.
Yeah.
They're old people.
They are old people,
God
but still,
bless
they
them.
can still drive you crazy.
But
Yeah.
your particular pet peeve, I think, is geoconditional because I feel the same way when I go to LA. I start getting tense
Yeah.
as I coming down
Yeah.
Calabasas. I'm like going, oh god, I can't wait to get the hell
I,
out of
I
here.
do
Yeah.
think I do think drivers in Ventura County, as overall, are more considerate than in LA County.
Yes, I agree.
Overall,
I agree.
yeah.
Also, too, we have less people
Yeah, less density,
and
of
there's a little
course.
bit more
Sure.
space and so on and so forth. But that brings us to kind of like the evolution of this subject is, could you live somewhere else? Like is traffic getting you so riled up that I just got to get the hell out of here or whatever? Like,
I mean, out of California.
well,
Or just out of wherever you're at.
out of wherever you're at, because I can tell you right now, I grew up in LA, lived in LA my whole adult life almost, and then moved to Ventura. I'll never ever move back to LA County ever again.
Yeah.
Because that is probably the number one reason right there.
You don't realize how
Yeah.
horrible it is till you're out of it, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
you visit it.
Absolutely.
Like I
Yeah.
go to LA all the time, and
Yeah.
I see all the time. Most of the crush
I don't
and all
feel that way when I go to Hawaii. I could always go back to Hawaii.
You're just sitting on a beach in Hawaii. You don't give a shit.
Actually, not if you go to
Cocktail in
Waikiki.
your
Waikiki
hand.
is traffic. I'll
Oh,
never go
yeah,
to Waikiki because
Waikiki,
of that
yeah.
crap.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll stay away. I'll go North Shore. Forget that. But
yeah.
so
Yeah.
if I move somewhere, I'm got to think like car wise. Like I don't want to go anywhere where there's more traffic or,
Yeah.
gridlock than where I currently am.
Then don't go to downtown Dallas.
Oh,
No,
Yeah,
oh my
yeah,
God,
it's
no.
bad.
Because I will be
It's
honest with
bad.
you, it was worse than LA. It was absolutely 200% worse than LA. And I stayed in the ghetto. That's where my Airbnb was because it was so close to downtown Dallas. I just wanted to be able to walk. Bad choice. It was just bad. The whole area was bad. Everything was bad. I will never go to downtown Dallas again.
Concrete jungle. It's totally
Yeah,
concrete
it was
jungle,
crazy.
Cities are tough,
It was
especially for
crazy,
car people.
and there really was not like much car culture in that area for some reason. I thought for sure there would be, but there really wasn't. So
Yeah, even when I was out in Texas, in the DFW area, the car culture was there, but it's definitely different.
It's different,
right?
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's not L.A., it's not Orange County, it's not New York. Even it's not every area is different car culture wise. So you had mentioned that too. Is like if you consider moving out of California,
Yeah.
which a lot of people I know are considering people who live in California.
Yeah.
Where would you go? As a car person, where would
Yeah.
you go?
Well, and this is
If that's one of your priorities.
Yes,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah, and the thing with me being single and now that my kids are adults, I've been open to the possibility of moving because I know that I probably don't want to stay in Ventura my whole life. I like to travel, I like to check things out, but the problem I'm having is it seems like everywhere I go, I've gone to like Tennessee, Texas, some parts of Arizona, Nevada, Colorado. Like I'm not finding anything close to the car culture in Southern California. And I know it's hard because I'm a big JDM girl, so that's one thing. But I do like domestic stuff. I like lowriders, and I was surprised in Dallas how very few modified cars I saw, which I thought would be different. Ton of trucks. It was a big truck thing, which I get. It's Texas. It's Texas.
Yeah.
And they all drive
I get
150
that.
miles an hour.
Yes. Yeah. In fact, I even still saw like some of those spinner wheels still on cars. I was just like, are these coming back? Like, what the heck? And you know what was the worst place I've traveled to so far that had like no car culture? I mean, I saw O'Reilly's special and that was it. And it was Tennessee. I went to about an hour north of Nashville is where my best friend moved. And there was nothing. I didn't even see like lifted trucks. I didn't see lowriders. I didn't see.
Which is interesting because Tennessee has a great racing history.
Yeah.
NASCAR.
Yeah.
True.
I was
Bristol
surprised.
and you got-
I was
Yeah.
really surprised.
Yeah, I mean, there's some.
Well, if you're
there's
not doing
some car
NASCAR, you're not
culture
doing
there.
anything apparently.
Yeah.
So it's NASCAR or nothing.
You would think Tennessee would be,
Yeah. I
A
was
very
surprised.
unique-
I think,
and maybe you just didn't hit the right. You just
Yeah.
didn't hit the right
that's,
area.
but that's
maybe.
just it though.
Yeah.
There's probably sub pockets everywhere of like maybe JDMs
Yeah.
or domestics
Yeah.
or whatever. Every city probably has it. To what extent is different? But you're comparing it to Southern California specifically, how big it is, and it's everywhere in Southern California. And we obviously have the weather here. That would be the one hard thing for me to leave California is obviously the weather.
Yeah.
But the car scene, car culture is a big deal. The only other place I can see that has good weather and the car culture that I like is Puerto Rico because they're the king of rotary. So and the food is awesome.
Yeah, and and that's the thing with even just driving in Ventura and Oxnard. I can tell you, like, if I'm driving around one day, I will see at least one lowrider, one domestic hot rod, and a JDM classic. That's just how it is. I feel like I always see those.
and that's just
driving.
going near the drugstore.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like-
And a truck. You'll see a lifted truck.
Yeah.
We
I'll
get
see
most
what
days.
I'd say Ventura County. We have it is a melting pot, especially how
Yes.
people have come up here from LA and Orange County to
Yeah.
move up here. So you do get that.
And motorcycles.
Yeah.
Ton of motorcycles.
But also too, Ventura
So-
County. Not to get off on another tangent here, but Ventura County has a huge hot rod history.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't know that, and we'll get into that some other day. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Any other pet peeves?
Pet driving
Well,
peeves, anyone?
I have a lot of friends when they drive, they don't use their blinker when they want to get into the next
Ooh,
lane.
yeah.
And they say
I
they
agree
don't
with
do that because they say, oh, well, if I put it on, they're not going to let me get over. I'm like, but this is the whole reason you have a blinker. And I look for blinkers when somebody has a
Oh,
blinker
yeah.
on. I will
Yeah.
let them go in front of me
yeah.
as long as they're not cutting
I
me off.
I do feel bad if I
completely.
don't let somebody in, if I just kind of say, "Oh, I got to get through
Yeah.
here." I do feel bad.
Yeah.
So
it's like,
But-
use your blinker. That's what
on
it's
that
there
note,
for.
on that note, I know what they're talking about because I've had this happen. You're driving down, you want to get over into the left lane.
Yeah.
You look over to the side, you see there's plenty of space. You turn on your blinker, and what does that driver do?
Yeah.
Speeds up.
Yeah, and that's
true.
going
They
to
speed
happen,
up.
and that's he's just a dick. But
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
But-
are
Or
a dick.
she.
he or she,
He or she are a
Chicks can
dick.
be
Yeah,
dicks.
there's no-
absolutely. Yes.
No doubt.
Yes, absolutely. I agree with that guy. But the problem is like you should put your blinker on because you should be the good person.
No doubt.
And do the right thing. And so I always use my blinker. Even if like there's somebody right next to me, then at least my blinker's on for the next person to know I'm trying to get over. You know?
Totally.
What if your blinkers don't work?
Arm. Yeah.
Arm. Yeah.
I think a lot of people have forgotten. They don't know
the
that.
arm.
They don't know the arm thing.
Well, I'll tell you this. What I do when I do that left turn blinker, I put it on.
Yeah.
And if I see somebody speed up, I'm going anyway. And then I love it. They get right up on your bumper and they blast their horn.
Minivan drivers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you're not doing that in your Porsche. You're not doing that in your Porsche.
I just do it faster.
Okay.
When I get in the next lane, I don't even let them get close to my bumper. Boom, I'm gone.
Okay.
And the Honda minivan, that thing cruises.
Don't.
It can peel out.
Don't.
I'm going to peel out when the show's over. I'm going to go out in the driveway and you're going to hear me.
You're going to do a K-swap into your Porsche?
That reminds me, I put my bumper sticker on my daily, the Jesus one that says do a burnout. I put it on there because I felt like I needed like something on that car because it was just too daily. It was too daily. It was boring. And so I'm kind of sad that nobody's done a burnout for me yet.
You're about to hear one.
If you tried to do a burnout in the minivan, I will record so we can send it to your mechanic when you burn out the torque converter.
Oh gosh! All right, so have you guys heard about this? I opened up the news thing on my Apple phone, whatever it is, and one of the first things I saw was that they sent a rover for the first time down to the USS Yorktown. Now, do you guys know the history of the Yorktown?
No.
Okay. Any World War II history buffs here? Dan, you might know
probably
a little bit.
Yorktown, is that Pearl Harbor or Midway?
Midway.
Well,
it was also
it was
no
at Pearl
aircraft
Harbor,
carrier,
but obviously it didn't get sunk.
Exactly.
Pearl Harbor.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Midway, the Battle of Midway was kind of the turning point of the war, and they were defending this island, Midway Island in the Pacific, and the Japanese had 4 aircraft carriers, and the U.S. had 3, and one of them was the USS Yorktown, and so we win the battle. And the Yorktown is damaged, and it's being towed back to Pearl for repairs, and it's hit with 3 torpedoes, Japanese torpedoes. It sinks. The only U.S. carrier that was lost in the Battle of Midway. They found it. I think it's really deep water, 2.5 miles down. Something like that. Yeah, it's deep. They found it in the late 90s, I think 98 or 99. But they sent down a rover for the first time to go look and explore the inside of the USS Yorktown. And what do they find? A car.
Where, in the cargo hold?
In the cargo bay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was it a military car?
No, that's
Wasn't
the part
a Jeep?
they think it's a 1940 or 41 Ford Woody convertible. That was the reaction. It's like, what on earth?
Commander, Admiral, or
Admiral's car. That's what they're
Yeah,
guessing.
sure.
So they have really cool photos of it. You can see the rag top. Everything's falling apart. Hard to tell that it's a Ford Woody, and if it's wood, it probably wouldn't be a whole lot
that would
left.
be gone. Yeah,
but what they're doing is they're asking. The article I read was they're seeing if any car folks out there can positively identify what that is, because apparently it was not in their list of what was part of the cargo.
Okay.
Now the other explanation was they said, well, this is the hold where they found the car is. The space is extremely valuable because that's where they put the airplanes and all the gear. So they needed every inch.
Yeah.
What was this car doing there?
Yeah.
It's part of a smuggling ring from World War.
Maybe.
It's a conspiracy theory that they were smuggling cars to Japan.
Well, they think it was an admiral's car.
Top brass,
that when he got to Midway, he wanted his car.
Which kind of makes sense.
Yeah. Then they also said, too, the article said, well, after it was hit with the torpedoes, and it started listing, they started throwing off anything that was heavy to try and get it the list back. So it wouldn't take on more water and wouldn't sink. But they didn't toss the car. The car stayed. They tossed everything else.
So the car was inside the hull.
Inside.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't wait to go look at the pictures.
But they haven't determined what it is exactly yet.
No, they haven't determined exactly what it is, and that's why they put out the word. Are there any car folks out there who might know what this thing is?
So we should put out the word.
Yeah.
We are.
There we
We're
go.
putting out the word. Watch
That's
our
it.
show.
That's
and you'll get the
exciting.
word.
Yeah, the photo. I mean, I only saw one photo in the article. It's a pretty good photo, and I'm sure there's somebody out there who's
There's
got to
be video footage of it or
taillight.
something
Yeah,
from
probably.
the rover that when it went down.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there's got to be.
Yeah, that's.
But
really
Google
cool.
it, and you'll find it. It's actually a really interesting article.
And you
But
found that out today?
yesterday.
Yesterday.
Oh.
Wow.
I read it yesterday for
That
the
is
first
pretty
time.
interesting.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to find out. I mean, there are going to be follow-up stories to it. You know, they're going to probably find more stuff down there. But I was curious about the car.
The Yorktown was a big loss, right? There was a huge loss of
Big
life,
loss.
right? Because
Yeah.
aircraft carrier,
Yeah.
those things had thousands.
Well, I
of
don't
people
think.
on
I
them.
think they were. It's sunk slowly enough to where everybody.
Oh,
was
they were able
get
to
off.
evacuate
Yeah,
and stuff. Oh,
exactly.
so it wasn't huge loss.
Yeah, but it
of
was the
life,
sharks that ate them
Well,
in the water.
That,
Because
that
was
did
the deal,
happen in
right?
the
Yeah.
South Pacific.
I
Yeah.
remember watching a documentary about something about that.
Yeah, that happened
Yeah.
for sure in
that
the
was-
South Pacific.
Yeah.
How messed up is that? You survive a torpedo attack and you get eaten by a shark. That's
Yeah. No, I think it went down slowly enough where they were able to, get everybody off the ship. Most people off the ship.
Mm.
Sure, the people that were killed were ones,
Yeah, from
when
the
that
torpedo
hit.
hits.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure.
But it was a huge loss, and I thought that's what you meant. It was a huge loss because they only had 3 aircraft carriers.
Well, no,
you lose one, it's a big
strategically
loss.
It's a huge
too.
financial
Yeah.
loss.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Right.
Well,
So-
strategic loss. I mean,
Totally.
geez, when the Japanese have more than you and you lose one, it's like, that's not good.
And if I remember right, the Yorktown had been severely damaged just a few weeks before Midway.
Kamikaze attack, maybe?
I don't know, but they didn't think it was going to make it to Midway.
Oh.
And I think Nimitz, who was in charge, said, I don't care what condition that aircraft carrier's in, it's going to be in the battle. So the Yorktown went into battle already limping,
Oh.
and then it got hit.
We're totally going to get fact checked by some World War
I
II
know.
buff.
And which is fine.
Which
I'm
comment,
totally-
please
Yes.
comment.
Please
Tell us.
comment.
Yes.
yeah.
School us, please.
Yeah.
School us.
But I mean, I think this is how it all played out. So,
Yeah.
but it's interesting. I'm curious what they're going to find out
That's cool.
what that car is. So, you guys are going to Google it right after.
Yeah,
this and
I
look at
am.
the
I'm going to
photo.
go back to work and look at it.
Yeah.
Speaking of sinking ships, what did you think of last week's show?
Ooh, good segue.
I-
Jake. Good segue.
I love the beginning.
But first, don't you have something to say, Gabe?
Kiss my ass?
Is this
What
a
do
reference
you
to how
guys
he
need to
started
do?
off?
Oh, yeah. Fine, I'll do it, son of a bitch. All right. Hey, if you guys like what we're doing, please consider subscribing and share the show. If you think, there's somebody that you want to send this to make fun of us, send it away. But we'd appreciate that. And also, we have a tip line. If you have a story that you want to share, car, or if you have a garage, we're doing garage tours now, hopefully in Southern California. If not further, you might take us somewhere. I don't know. Check them out. So I did my plug. Done.
There you go.
Good plug.
Now, what were we talking about?
Yeah, I thought you would have done that a little better.
Ooh.
I kind of threw him under the bus, though, a little bit. So.
Well, I'm giving a hard time because of the
So much.
well, and I haven't had a chance to see it yet. But my understanding was the last show at the ending there were bloopers.
Yeah,
I haven't seen that yet,
We
but-
call them bloopers. That was just us getting started. Yeah, I will give you some props, CJ. This is not as easy as it looks.
Yeah,
to
that's
host.
why I was giving him shit.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
in the bloopers. He's
That-
like, this isn't as
Yes.
easy as I thought.
No,
man.
I got a good taste of reality
Yeah.
there. There's a
was
lot of things you have to
great.
remember,
Yeah.
which I don't like doing. But
But it was good.
That was a fun
real.
show. Yeah, it was a fun show.
yeah.
Well, what I've seen of it. I mean, so
Well-
far I've only
Well,
I'm
when you watch the rest of it, maybe I don't know. You're like everybody else. You don't finish watching our shows.
Yeah, I
you
know.
So what you're saying, CJ, is even old people have ADHD. Like
No, yeah,
us,
yeah,
right? We just,
totally.
5 minutes of
It's
that.
a,
yeah, it's all
You
good.
call that ADHD? I can. He probably fell asleep, man. Reading this shit and fell asleep.
Fell asleep.
Whatever.
It wasn't that bad. No.
But hey, look, I'll tell you right now, like I can only imagine, it was hard doing this for the podcast. I can't imagine doing that shit for news, man. I was like the stuff that you do for your day job, which we obviously talked about. If you've watched our previous show, we talked about you, which was nice to talk shit about you while you weren't here.
Yeah.
But
That was fun.
that part I watched.
what'd you think?
I thought it was good.
Your voice went up an octave.
Yeah.
I don't believe you.
Yeah, yeah. It's great, man. It's great. No, I thought you guys did a great job. It was fun to watch, and
If you would have said, it's
I may go back and watch it again.
But I mean, would you? I mean, I don't want to call it criticism, but the feedback we got was like, it's like you're so good, you're so polished, but no one knows anything about you. You're so mysterious.
So I should be effing up more, is what I should be doing.
Sure. Well, apparently you being too good is effing up because people want the real CJ.
Well, I will say this because you talked about live tape. I am just better if I think it's live. Because if
That's
I
what you
make
do every day.
Because I do it every day. I mean, every day
Yeah.
at 5, 6, 6:30, whatever it is. One thing about live TV is if you mess up, you skip past it as quickly as you can because you don't want to bring attention to the fact
Yeah.
you're messing up. So that kind of keeps you going.
Yeah.
Now, if it's taped, if
So
I'm
the fact
taping
that our
something-
podcast is taped explains everything.
But see, in
right?
my head, I'm
we gotta go
thinking this
live.
is live.
We
Yeah.
gotta go. We gotta go
Exactly.
live on.
We're gonna go live eventually.
Yeah, we will.
Eventually.
We're gonna
When we
go
get our
live.
shit together, we'll finally go live.
I mean, the fun part about doing live would be, and I don't have this, would be getting questions while we're going live.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Where viewers are typing in a question. And I
The
think
real fun
that'd be
part is I
Yeah.
would go end stream and it's done. That's the fun part.
yeah,
No
Yeah.
editing, no nothing. It'd be great.
yeah.
Right.
Do we need to get a teleprompter? Because I'd totally put did somebody put a question mark in the teleprompter?
Now you're getting this is a segue into Ron Burgundy. isn't it?
Yeah, buddy.
Ah.
Also, you have watched it because that was in the movie.
Well, I do know that it's funny because we have a joke that if you leave something that's wrong in the teleprompter and you read it, you just did a Ron Burgundy.
Oh, so you actually call that term? You call
Ron Burgundy.
Oh my goodness, that's great. I love that.
So if somebody says something and you read it and read it, and you know it's wrong, and then you read it and you're like, oh, I just did a Ron Burgundy.
Right, like you mean you read it live on the. So that happens
Yeah.
a lot.
Oh, well, it doesn't happen a lot,
Oh.
but
At least not with you, right?
yeah, no.
Does it happen? Does it happen with Beth?
No.
Does she f up a lot?
No, I would say
You're going
no.
for the
She
dirt.
never messes up.
You're trying to bury CJ. Jeez.
Totally trying to bury.
I
his
would say
ass.
this: the longer you're in the business, the more you. How do I say this? You do a combination of reading the script, as it is in the prompter, and ad-libbing at the same time.
Yeah, yeah. That
So
makes
you
sense.
kind of clean up
Yeah.
the mistakes. You know as you're reading that what those
Like you're
words that are
real-time
coming up are
editing
wrong.
as you're reading it. Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
I can see that.
you'll start ad-libbing through certain sentences because you know that information's been updated.
How long would you say it takes you to get used to doing that, though? Like, I mean,
I don't. I probably
years
started
or
getting. Yeah, definitely years.
Yeah,
I mean, I've been doing
yeah.
it 40 years.
okay.
And I would say probably when I was into it 15, 20 years, I was probably where I could sit up there and just ad-lib. Just
Wow.
ad-lib it.
Mm.
And it's almost easier to ad-lib it.
Are there people that suck at it? Do you know?
Totally.
Really? Like you could totally tell they suck
Ad-lib?
at ad-lib. Like reporters and
Yeah,
newscasters
totally.
and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, you just watch those news blooper compilations on YouTube,
Yeah.
and it's like there they are.
Yeah.
Hey, who sucks? Tell us who sucks.
Oh, I'm not kidding.
I want to know who sucks.
Yeah.
Ron Burgundy.
I was gonna say, who's your Ron Burgundy? Who's your Ron Burgundy?
No. I'm still employed. And I'm not going to give that up.
CJ, have you ever said that was a Ron Burgundy on the air?
No.
You just
I will tell you a Ron Burgundy, though,
Yeah.
where I messed up. And it wasn't in the prompter.
Mm-hmm.
So every year we do the Fiesta Parade in Santa Barbara. You know, the big Fiesta
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
celebration? Okay.
Yeah.
So Beth and I mean, I've been doing hosting the parade for the TV version of the parade for, I don't know, 20 some years. And Beth has joined me the last 3 or 4 years. And there's one year, it was maybe 10 years ago, and I'm wearing our headsets just like this. And our producer is in a truck about 2 blocks away in one of those massive big rigs where they have the switcher. And he's the one giving us cues. And I have a book in front of me. And in the book, a paragraph with, here comes float number 29. Okay. And then I read whatever the paragraph is for the viewers at home, float 29, whatever it is. And the producer at one point goes, okay, next is float 31. All right. So I got my head, I'm looking down for 31, and all of a sudden he goes, no, 32. Well, I was already talking. So I go, oh, no, 32.
Wow. Wow.
You said what he
I
said.
said what he said. Because I think
It's reflexive,
it
right?
just, it was just the
Yeah.
brain reflex.
Sure.
And that's the only time that's ever happened. But we all just started laughing. It was the funniest thing. And folks at home would probably go, what? But they wouldn't know what was
CJ
going on.
retarded.
Yeah, CJ, what is that? But it was crazy that my brain heard it and spit it out like in a
Yeah.
If
fraction
that's
of
the
a
worst
second.
thing you did, man. That's
I know,
you're pretty
right?
good. I mean,
That's not
I thought
bad.
you said like
That's
shit.
not
fuck,
bad.
whatever.
No.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be in the business if I was dropping F-bombs, live
Yeah.
on.
Because I've seen the bloopers on YouTube and stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. Like all these reporters or
Yeah.
newscasters saying these dumb, stupid, wild things
Yeah.
or whatever.
Well, the
Yeah.
rule is if you got a microphone on, you don't swear. For that
Right.
reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not
On
supposed to.
purpose.
Yeah.
On
Because you never
I've
know.
seen people just say things like shit instead of shirt or
Yeah,
something like
exactly.
that. You know,
well, that's a little different. If you're,
Yeah.
if your mouth messes something up and it sounds like a bad word, but you can justify it, like, oh no, what I meant to say was, you
Yeah.
probably get away
Yeah.
with it. But if you're sitting there putting on your microphone, and the audio guy has accidentally left your microphone up, and you start dropping F-bombs like you're frustrated, you'll get in trouble.
I would
And
think
that
so.
has happened before.
I would think so.
Yeah. So if the microphone's on, you're careful. You don't say anything.
So, like Ron Burgundy. So that all that stuff happens. Like the stuff that was in that movie.
Oh, to
happens.
some extent, yes. I mean, people are amazed. I have not watched the whole movie. I mean, I've
You
seen
are the
He
movie
had
reviewer.
to
bits
have a
and pieces.
short attention span.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why I've never seen the
Can't
whole
make
movie.
it through a movie. Can't make it
No,
through our podcast.
I know.
Dang.
I'm such a busy guy.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I haven't seen the whole movie. I did see the Rumble part.
Where they
Oh,
fought.
yeah.
I
The
saw the Rumble
Yeah, the
part. That
Rumble's
was the
good.
only. I think it was the only full scene I think I've ever seen of Anchorman. But
Okay, well,
and I've never been involved in a Rumble with any of my competitions. So just so you guys know,
that would have been hilarious.
yeah,
You and John Palmentary going at it.
I know. Actually, John and I would be on the same team. I think
Oh, yeah, you have the same
we'd
station.
be going after
The same
NBC or
station.
somebody
Yeah,
like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You and Beth should dress up for Halloween as Ron and what's her name? Christina Applegate.
Yeah.
I don't know what her character is on the show.
I can't
He wouldn't have
I
to do
don't
much. He dresses like that every day. He just needs the mustache and the hair.
Yeah,
exactly.
I can't grow a mustache, by the way.
Mustache challenge.
Yeah, mustache.
All right, so we've danced around it enough. Tell us the real story about Ron Burgundy, like because you have insight and you actually know these people that.
Yeah, I mean, my understanding is that, and I heard it for years, that Ron Burgundy, that character was based on Harold Green.
From ABC
Say-
7.
say- yeah,
well,
say
he
who
was
he is.
ABC 7 in LA for many, many years, but he was in San Diego before that. I think KNSD with the call letters.
Mhm.
And Harold Green Burgundy. We always thought that's one of the things. Crazy stories about things he did down in San Diego. I always thought that
Like
was
his
it.
personality was a lot like the character that
I think so, but probably amplified
I
for
would
what
think so,
Hollywood
yeah.
was looking for.
Have you met him?
Harold Green?
Yeah.
You know, we met many years ago at an awards banquet. He wouldn't remember it. It was one of those, hi, congratulations. You know, he's the big anchor. And
Was
I'm,
he famous at the time?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I met Mort Krim because if you Google who is the Ron Burgundy character based on, you'll see Harold Green was apparently the appearance of, so they went with Harold's appearance for the character. But it was Mort Krim, I guess. Everything else was based on Mort Krim,
The
and he was
personality.
an anchor out of Detroit, and I met him at an NBC promo thing, and it's so funny. Here's a funny story about Mort Krim. So he's the guy before me. We have to go into studio and we have to read some lines, and we're doing it with Tom Brokaw at the time. So we go in, we'd sit down, and these were things that we would tape that would be sent to our station, and then it would air locally. So you'd see me with Tom Brokaw, and it was supposed to give me credibility in that market, whatever it is.
Oh,
Right.
little
So-
collab action.
Yeah, exactly. So we're sitting there, and I'm in the studio, and I do my thing with Tom Brokaw, and then we have to go do something else in another room. We have to read lines that we're going to be sent with, whatever. Mort Krim is the guy before me. Now, Mort Krim is this deep voice, talks like this, great voice. And I've got this squeaky voice. I'm like 19 years old. And I'm like, so I get in and I start talking like this.
Oh, you actually.
I'm trying to lower my voice so I don't sound like that.
Oh no.
Because Mort Krim was like this, he's a big dude. He's got this great booming voice. And I don't think it would have mattered what kind of voice you had. If you followed Mort Krim, you were going to change your
Oh my
voice.
goodness.
Wow.
That's crazy.
And so I went in and did my thing. And after I got out, I'm like, did I change my voice?
You totally did.
It was like,
Evidently
"Yeah,
so."
apparently I did. and that was probably, I don't know, 35 years ago.
Did he seem like the Ron Burgundy character that is
No,
Right.
I mean, no, I didn't. I never. I said hi to him. That
like he
was
wasn't
about it.
drinking scotch and smoking a cigarette?
No,
right before
no,
it went
no,
on air
no,
kind of
no,
thing? Okay.
no. No, I didn't get a chance to hang out with him or anything. So,
Yeah.
but then I found out later because I always thought it was Harold Green. But then I heard about Mort Krim, and I'm like, oh shit, I met Mort Krim too. And I mean, when you look at the character, you think it's more Harold Green. than it is Mort. I wouldn't have guessed Mort Krim,
Yeah.
but apparently that's my understanding of how Ron Burgundy came to life.
I'll sign off on that. That sounds legit to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you're the most famous person I know right now, so I'll believe you.
me?
Yeah. Me? Just said I don't know a lot of people. So I know people are going, what the fuck's this got to do with cars?
I know.
You guys are going to mess me up tonight at 6 o'clock.
Hell yeah. Oh, man, I can't wait.
Oh, welcome, Ron Burgundy.
What kind of car did Ron Burgundy drive, Gabe? I don't remember. Didn't he have like a convertible Cadillac or something?
I don't.
He had like a big 70s car, didn't he?
That would make sense. It was
I mean,
in the 70s. Yeah.
that movie took place in the 70s. I don't know what kind of car he
I
drove.
think he had like a big convertible Cadillac for
Sure,
some
some
reason. I
big
can't remember.
monstrosity.
Well, considering the character, that would kind of make sense.
If
Isn't
you
that-
know Ron Burgundy,
Yeah.
please let us know
Yeah,
what
what
car
he drove.
'cause we don't
What was
remember.
Ron Burgundy's car?
That's a good trivia question.
Yeah. Maybe I'll watch the movie now and I'll find out.
That movie's hilarious. I've watched
It
both
is.
of them. They're so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah, we derailed now.
I gave up
Okay.
too many secrets today.
No, that's good. So now we have things that we need you guys to comment, please. So what did Ron Burgundy drive?
What's in the hull
What's
of the
in
USS
the hull?
Yorktown?
Like, yeah, go
And what's
check
your
it
pet
out.
peeve?
What's your pet peeve? And where is good car culture? Please let me know.
Yeah,
Outside of California.
Outside
Yeah.
of California.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
you
even
know,
if you live in
yeah,
California,
even if you live in
like,
California,
you could
yeah.
be in like I don't know, like Riverside or
Yeah.
something. I don't know what.
True.
Yeah.
You know,
True.
there's all kinds of pockets
I've
everywhere.
heard that up by Fresno, it's starting to get a little bit better. Like it's starting to get heavier.
Nothing's
so
better in Fresno.
I worked in Fresno.
Oh, well, you should know
I
that.
did. I worked in Fresno for 3 years.
When we did the drifting film, I'm going to say OC, like North OC for JDM stuff is big. There's a lot of like
Yeah, there's a lot of money there,
Vietnamese,
too, so,
Filipino,
yeah.
Chinese,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
they're-
there's a lot of
They have
import
those
stuff there,
cars,
for sure.
for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
San Fernando Valley was a big area in the 90s for 80s and 90s for
Yeah.
Import.
I don't know about now though. I don't see a lot of that when I drive in the valley.
God, I could
anymore.
just hear Bernie Herrera right now just listening to this going, you guys are idiots, man. You guys forget about this town and this about this and that. You guys like an encyclopedia of stuff like that. Sorry,
Bert-
Bern. You are Bern, you know you are.
Well, Bernie, I mean Burbank. We know Burbank's a car area. There's a lot of cars in Burbank, and there's hot rods, and there's all kinds of interesting.
And Jay
stuff in
Leno owns
Burbank.
half of them there.
Yeah.
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 exactly.
Yeah.
The Jay Leno thing. Would you say he's the Jay Leno? There was a guy you were talking about. No, was it you?
Oh, the Asian Jay Leno.
The Asian Jay
Yeah,
Leno.
so
I know the
Tua,
Mexican
yeah,
Jay Leno.
yeah,
Who's the Asian
yeah.
Jay Leno?
Yeah, on Saturday I had an interview / photo shoot with Tua. He's a vlogger. He has a YouTube channel. And he was telling me, people call me I'm the Asian Jay Leno up in Fresno. He's got like a
Wow.
ton of cars.
Does he have a huge chin?
No.
Does he wear denim? All denim.
He does. I love no, actually. He was super nice though,
Well, I don't
and most of his cars are Nissans, so I'm like, yeah, that's pretty cool.
All right, give him.
you know?
What's his name? Give him a plug. I mean, come on.
Tua Vlogs is his Instagram page.
Tua vlogs.
Tua Vlogs. Yeah,
Vlogs.
yeah. Super
Like
great photographer.
TUAH type.
TOUA. I think I
TOUA.
I don't remember. I think it's TOUA Vlogs.
Is he Filipino or?
Mo. I'm so bad.
stumping you.
I asked him what his nationality was.
Laotian or-
Moan or Mayan? I don't know. I'm so bad. I'm so bad.
Well,
Sorry. Super nice guy though.
Well, he must be
he's-
some kind of
Maybe
Asian,
Vietnamese.
the Asian Jay Leno.
Vietnamese,
so.
maybe.
No, he wasn't Vietnamese.
Not Vietnamese. Okay.
Calling the Asian
No.
Jay Leno.
Boy,
Yeah.
we're gonna get demonetized for being racist. Don't even know what Asians are.
I know.
Fortunately, we have
Hey,
no
most of-
monetization.
It's okay. I'm half Asian, so I'm the token Asian here. So it's
Most
okay.
of my friends are Asian. I just can't keep up with all of the different nationalities. I have a hard time with that. Okay. Sorry.
Oh. All right.
Yeah.
Is this time for me to mess up? Okay. All right. I think we covered everything.
I appreciate you sharing that story about you and your career. By the way,
You liked it?
yeah. Well, it's better than me
it's
telling
good.
it.
It's good.
Man,
Yeah.
He just gave me a compliment. That never happened.
We just got to know the real CJ. a little
I'm
bit.
desperate for clicks.
We got a peek behind the curtain, Gabe.
Yeah, I know, right?
We saw the wizard behind the curtain.
Just see me with makeup on.
Yeah.
I have actually.
Have you seen me with makeup?
Yeah, you just came out of work or something like that. I forget what it was, but you had some kind of something left over on your face.
But they just put foundation on.
Hey, you can already
Yeah.
tell. You can
I
already
put it
tell.
on. I
Oh,
put
just
it on.
base. That's
Yeah.
right.
It's just a
powder.
base.
Oh, you're just like
Just
Kiss. They put their own makeup on
anti-shine.
too.
Do they really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I could sing like them. No,
You wouldn't be here.
So what I do is I put on a base makeup because I've got freckles. So in the
Yeah.
studios,
Well,
those-
plus the shine
those-
too
yeah,
from the lights.
they pop like crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I put on some base.
It's all that surfing, CJ.
Yeah, it's the sun damage.
Yeah.
yeah.
Surfing.
I
gave you
definitely got the
freckles,
sun
right?
damage.
What do you wear?
thing.
Shiseido?
Yeah,
What kind of makeup do you put on?
Mac.
I know.
Mac.
Are you serious?
Oh,
Of
damn, look at
course.
you.
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
a baller.
It's
He's a
ma-
baller.
Yeah, Mac Studio Fix, and it's
There you go.
like NW30.
Wow. Did you go in and have them do like a skin check and match
I just
your
walked
color?
in. I said I like that color, and they said okay. And I've been using it ever since.
Makeup tips from
Awesome.
CJ.
Yeah, that's it.
That's a peek behind the curtain.
Yeah, like that. Watch it around.
Now you're not wearing
Maybe
it
we
now though. Not for the podcast.
No,
Maybe
no.
we could do
No.
a makeup tutorial.
I
They get some
know.
views.
Hey,
I heard
makeup
makeup
tutorials
tutorials
get
do well
the
on
views.
YouTube.
You
They got
seem,
the
you seem
clicks.
more like a cover girl kind of guy.
A cover girl kind of guy. Huh?
Isn't that like shit you get at Thrifties or something? Maybelline or something? I don't know. I don't know shit about makeup.
But I stop at the base. I don't do any. I know there's some guys who do
No rouge for you.
No,
Yeah.
No
or
lipstick?
eyeliner.
Guy liner.
Yeah, there's some
Eyeliner.
Yeah,
Guy
some guys do, it, and I'm
Wow.
like, oh god, no.
Wow,
Yeah, I just go with the base.
interesting.
That's it. Just,
Yeah.
just to
Yeah.
get rid of the shine,
Yeah, yeah.
which is the big
it's
thing,
anti-shine.
Yeah.
Right.
and the
yeah.
freckles.
No
That's it.
highlights, huh?
No highlights. No, I don't want to look too good.
Well, CJ, I can relate because I've shot probably 2,000 to 3,000 interviews in my career, and in my kit, Gabe's seen it before. I have like a little makeup bag because same thing. It's shine.
Yeah.
It's like when people are shiny, it doesn't look good on camera.
Yeah.
You get
Yep.
all the specular highlights.
So you
here
powder
and-
them up a little bit?
Powder 'em up.
Yeah.
Well, and plus, some people get really nervous in front of a camera. So what do
Yeah.
they do?
Oh, they sweat.
like
They sweat,
crazy.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah.
do the opposite. I put like chicken grease on them to make them extra shiny. I want people to shine bright like
Chicken
a star,
grease.
man.
You got
Yeah.
chicken grease in your bag, Gabe?
Yeah. Not only are you sweaty, you're tasty too.
Shine bright like a KFC.
You know, I always joked around with my girls. I'd come home from work, and I'd say, well, Daddy's going to go and take his makeup off. And you could always hear him going,
Oh, my gosh.
and then they, go to school, and the kids being, I hear you wear makeup. Yes, I do wear makeup.
Yes, I do.
Man, I'm gonna go
What
do
do
that
you
when I go
care?
to a Steve Fight shop. We're gonna talk like
Little
little girls.
makeup.
Steve, CJ wears makeup.
Like a Haribo commercial. You ever seen those little candy commercials where the
Oh, Haribo. Or
his Haribo or a
I don't know,
Haribo or
Haribo,
something like
I don't know.
that? Those are hilarious commercials.
Yes.
Little candies where the football players are standing there talking. They sound like little kids. You've seen those?
No,
No.
Man, really?
I don't watch TV.
You've
I
seen
don't
them,
watch TV
haven't
much
you?
I
either.
think I have. Yeah.
They're hilarious. They're hilarious.
I love how this show has really not talked about cars.
Yeah, it really hasn't.
It'll
too
be
much.
great to see if this gets picked up and people start watching it. And so we might have to change the whole
We-
subject of
yeah.
the show. If this show becomes popular, we're going to have to talk about makeup and
Candy?
World War II.
West of Tulsa, life west of Tulsa. It's just, we won't even talk about cars. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, makeup and World War II.
Hey, our buddy, I don't know if you've been looking, but our buddy from Donut, from Speed, who has Speed, what is it, James?
Oh, Pumphrey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you looked at his output since he started Speed? Like, he's totally branching off cars. He's doing all kinds of other stuff now, too.
Yeah, I mean, but the guy had a huge following already. I'm
Yeah, he's got
so,
like 1.5 million.
totally jealous already, so whatever.
But it's interesting that he's not just car. It's like car, antique, this, that. You know, he's doing different
Isn't
stuff.
he a comedian?
Yeah, he was kind of a stand-up kind of guy.
Yeah, so I mean, he's kind of got the shtick for that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
we're low in shtick here.
But he's
Yeah.
taking it
I think
seriously.
you had
I
it
mean,
more.
he's not
Lack
not-
of confidence is what it is,
No,
buddy.
we need
We
alcohol.
are very funny.
Lack
We are
of-
very
No.
funny.
Lack of confidence is my shtick.
No, we need alcohol. We need to take a shot.
Oh,
We still never did the booze show.
We do.
I'm disappointed.
let's do
I'm disappointed.
tequila and whiskey reviews. That would be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we'd have to Uber home, right?
We got
Or
enough
sleep
room
on the
here?
couch.
We got enough room here.
Oh God, I think we lost control.
Yes.
All right,
Off the rails in a good way.
Yes.
Yeah.
all right. So you guys are going to Google and look for the images
Yes.
of the Yorktown.
The Yorktown.
Yes, we
Yeah.
are.
It's
I'm
worth
gonna
it.
get right on that.
Yeah,
Just
it's
with
worth
my
it.
Mac search.
Yeah. See, I'm curious. If you guys figure out what it is,
I-
Google. Send me a note before you send it out to the world because I want to be on the in.
Okay.
Like if you look at it and go, "Oh, that's a 1942."
I
whatever.
wouldn't know.
Yeah.
The hell,
I don't know
either.
cars of the 40s that
If
well.
it turns
Yeah.
out to be a Mazda,
A Mazda from the 40s.
Yeah.
1940
A
Mazda.
convertible Mazda.
That might be counter to them going to war with Japan.
Exactly.
But
Maybe it was a peace offering.
you
I don't
never
know.
know. You know who would probably know is your buddy Rick with the Woody. Wouldn't he probably know?
Oh,
that?
he would know. Yeah, he would know.
Oh, yeah. He could
Rick
probably
White.
look at it.
You
Rick
guys
yeah.
White.
some Woody friends?
Yeah.
Ask them.
Yeah, no, it's not a bad idea. I didn't think about that.
Ask one of those Corvair nerds. Maybe they'll know.
Santa Barbara Woody Club, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's actually a good idea. I'm gonna call him up. He would know.
You should. And then we'll on the next show. Well, if we have an update, we'll let our audience
Yeah.
know unless they know.
And we'll show
already.
the image, and then we'll have Rick on and talk about it. See, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for watching, listening, whatever you watch and listen on. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, go to our YouTube channel, and send us a note. Tell us what you want to talk about. All right. We'll see you west of Tulsa.